Nymeria! Ooh-ah! Nymeria! Hello and welcome to the Vassals of Kingsgrave Soccercast. No, your ears do not deceive you. We are back so soon with another instalment. After ranting about the Super League a few weeks ago, we're here today to wrap up the domestic football season and to preview Euro 2020 brackets 2021. In the commentary box today, I'm joined by two podcast stalwarts. Bing.
Hello, I am just Bing these days. If the forums are, I guess they're still there, but I think I'm just Bing now.
And Bina.
Hey everyone, Bina 007 back for some football masochism, I feel.
Well, let us start with the depressing stuff, which is domestic season. And I guess where else to start but with a quick roundup of England and the English domestic season, which was it last weekend it finished? Christ, it already feels like so long ago. Where Manchester City were shockingly crowned champions for the third time in 4 years, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, enough so we can stop, caring. I mean, the big story was Leicester beating Chelsea to win the FA Cup, which VAR has been a massive pain in the arse this season. But it was very funny to see Chelsea lose a pretty valid equaliser to VAR. Did any of you guys watch the game, or just I caught the highlights, not the actual game itself?
Watched a little bit of it. I think I watched when Leicester scored. When Tielemans scored.
And it feels like all I've been doing is watch Chelsea versus Leicester for the past fortnight. It seemed like they were playing each other every 3 days, and by the end of it, I just couldn't figure out, what was significant from the Champions League. All I know is on the final day of the season, my youngest uncle, who's a Chelsea supporter, still thinks I'm a Spurs fan, sent me a note on WhatsApp of congratulations for helping them out. So it all got very confusing. But yeah, we did watch it. The tragedy is, right, we're going to a dinner party tonight because we are that old and middle class, and I don't think they've got BT Sports, so I don't think we're going to be able to watch the Champions League final.
No, that's annoying.
Poor organisation on my part. There you go.
I think, well, we're supposed to be doing a bit of karaoke at a friend's house, so I think if we can spare a screen, we'll have it on in the corner.
Nice.
I mean, I'll be honest, I have the stream of the Brentford Swansea game on right now, so.
Oh, of course, the playoff final, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's Brentford going. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be Brentford. They're leading 2-0 at halftime.
Do you know what? This leads into our Euros chat later, but I really hope Brentford get to the Prem. I do love the Welsh, as we'll also get to later, but they've got such a great. They remind me of they a bit like Wolves. They just have a really good scouting team, and they
doesn't really have a scouting team as much as they have a super agent attached to them that just sort of shuttles Portuguese players into their team.
I mean, as Arsenal are another team who have a super agent effectively running the show, and
I think you need a better super agent.
It's got enough Willian and David Luiz, so
yeah,
I'll take my hat off to Wolves.
Yeah, you do need a better super agent, but yeah. So I mean, so let's go back to talking about, I guess, the top of the table. Manchester City, was this, I mean, I guess the only surprising thing was that Liverpool sort of dropped out of the championship race very early on.
Yeah, and somehow they made it into. I mean, they had a similar record to us I think we won 5 games in a row for the first time all season. Something similar with Liverpool, and they pulled it out and they finished third in the end. And as you say, Bina, like, it's so tight around there. Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, all within a point of each other. I mean, Chelsea, Leicester said the better, but Leicester, fair play. I mean, they bottled it. They were in the Champions League spots for 90% of the season, and then bottled it on the last day. And West Ham, fair play to them. David Moyes is having a resurrection.
I mean, so the problem with Leicester is, I mean, that they're always going to have problem finishing because they just don't have the depth to compete with those at the top. That said, they probably shouldn't have lost to teams like Newcastle. towards the end of the season. And I think the problem was this year they just had too many. They have too many things focusing. They're going at too many things at too many fronts, and I think the FA Cup and then going straight into the league game against both games against Chelsea, I think that hurt them.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, when you're competing on so many fronts, you just need such a larger squad, which is why City have been able to just dominate this year. You know, because their B team is arguably good enough to finish in the top four on its own. But yeah, I mean, I guess other notables, if you leave aside Tottenham 7th, Arsenal 8th, so Arsenal first time out of a European competition without Europe in a season for 25 years, which is
Years.
astounding. But Leeds finished 9th in the in the top 10, which they only got promoted last season, right?
Yeah, well, they have. So these, so the fanfare coming into the season of these is of course Marcelo Bielsa. People want to see what
Yeah,
a Bielsa coach team looks like in the Premier League, and it turns out it looks pretty good. I mean Bielsa, his teams, his signature in before Leeds has been that like he would have a very good start with a team, and then they just sort of trail off towards the end of the season because his methods are so extreme. But it turns out apparently he turned this Leeds team into some sort of cult. It's some sort of his own personality cult, and all their players have bought into his creed. And they actually ended the season pretty strong.
yeah. 4 wins out of their last 5 games. Pretty damn good. Only 2 points behind Arsenal. Scored more goals than Chelsea, who finished fourth. But I feel like with his teams, it's such an all or nothing. Like, how
Yeah.
many times did you see 4-3s, 3-2s? Very high scoring games. They can, yes, they scored a lot of goals, but they also conceded as many as, well, more than Fulham, who finished in the relegation zone. So that
They have a
kind of
negative.
tells its own story.
I think they have a negative goal difference, right?
Actually, no, they don't.
They
I
didn't.
think those 4 wins, they
They
62
pulled it
scored,
back. Okay.
54 against. Yeah, it was Everton who finished with
Uh,
a negative.
oh. Yeah,
Um,
Everton. That's another team that seriously sort of derailed their season, derailed towards the end.
yeah, absolutely. Ancelotti could have. I mean, I still am kind of upset we didn't get him instead of Arteta, but got back the manager and all that. But he just there's such a rebuild job at Everton to do. Probably
Do
another
you,
season spending it.
how do you feel about Ancelotti now? Because at Christmas, when Arsenal were doing really badly, a lot of people, including Alan Davis on the Tuesday Club, were like, "Oh, we could have had Ancelotti." Do you feel that wasn't much of a? Do you feel that was all right at the end of it, or would you still have rather have had him?
I'd still have rather have had a. I think it's not necessarily that I think he's the best manager in the world or anything like that. I think it's just the experience.
Mm.
I think a steady hand on the tiller is what we needed, not someone who every day is learning and doing new things. Yeah, just a bit of experience, a bit of been there, done that. I mean, he's gone around all the,
Yeah, he's won
maybe
everything,
Spain,
right?
Italy, Germany. Yeah, he, even smashed it with Chelsea. To be fair.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Everton's a tough one. I remember so many times. David Moyes when he took over got them to the top four, and then a few years later they're threatening to be relegated. So they're quite a yo-yo team.
They're a very thin squad. I mean, he made a few signings that were very eye catching at the beginning of the season with James Rodriguez,
Yeah, definitely.
and so
Decore.
Decore.
Um, I
Uh,
think Calvert-Lewin had a good season. He's
he had
definitely.
a good first half of the season. I think his second half of the season was considerably more underwhelming.
Yeah,
Uh,
I suppose so.
yeah,
I don't think he made the Euro squad, did he?
he did.
Oh, he did.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about the
Oh,
years.
he did. Sorry, he made it ahead of Bamford,
Yeah, he did.
which
Yeah.
was quite
Well,
puzzling to me. But then again,
we can talk about that later. But
yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, so with Ancelotti, I feel like he would fit a team like Arsenal much more than a team like Everton. I think I think he is a good Ancelotti. So he's kind of like would you give you opposite of what Arteta gives you. Ancelotti is much more of a man manager type, who gets along with big name players. But he's also someone who plays the veterans a lot more, right? So you probably won't see breakout seasons from the likes of Saka and Rose Smith, or as much as they did show under Arteta. So put that together.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I personally I give that credit to Emery for Saka and Lundberg as well, who brought him in. I mean, Smith Rowe's had a fantastic season. You know, he came back from injury and just gone from strength to strength in the second half of the season. Shame he didn't make the England squad, but I think a summer off would do him a lot of good. And I'm kind of, as much as I love Saka, I kind of don't really want him to play much in the Euros. I think he
I
needs
don't
a
think he
rest as
will.
well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Selfishly.
I mean, Southgate would be stupid not to, because he's one of the best players in the squad, in my very biased opinion.
I agree.
But yeah, so that brings us to the bottom half of the table. So from Everton, we've got Villa, Newcastle, Wolves, Palace, Southampton, kind of just half of the course, really. Just another season in the Prem for them. I mean, I guess Newcastle, Joe Willock breaking the record for them for the youngest player to score in 7 consecutive games.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he saved their season because they were looking like they were going to be relegated until sort of Willock sort of just went off.
What a player. I mean, he's always had a nose for a goal. I think he was our highest scoring midfielder in the Europa League, maybe in the group stages. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are calling for us to cash in on him now, but I kind of just point to what we did with Martinez last year, where we sold him to Villa, and everyone's this season has been like, holy crap, why did we get rid of him? And I
Isn't
just think,
so much you got rid of Martinez as so much you didn't find a good replacement.
I mean, Bernd Leno was number 1, and we just kind of went with him.
Yeah, so there wasn't a good number 2, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, he's just become a bit Almunia this year, hasn't he? Gone a bit. He's just lost it.
I don't think Bernd Leno is the problem, even though I do like as a former Leverkusen player, I'm very familiar with Bernd Leno and the fact that his form can suddenly fluctuate season to season. But I feel like your defense is just incredibly mediocre.
Yeah, I agree. He's not the problem, and I would be quite annoyed if we spent, say, half of the summer chasing a player, as you know, Arsenal have want to do in the past, where they've put all their resources into one player when we actually need 4 or 5. But to my point about Willock, I mean, we have about 3 midfielders on the books. Given that Guendouzi's a nut job and we need to get rid of him, Torreira wants to go back to South America. Ceballos, Danny Onions is going home. Erdegaard is probably gone as well. You know, we're quite light on the ground. Xhaka wants to leave apparently, so that leaves us El Neni and Partey, and that's it. So I think we have to keep Willock just in terms of bodies. We're not going to sell him and then buy 2 players with that money.
Kind of insane that suddenly your midfield depth is just completely evaporated.
Yeah, it's quite worrying, and I can see it being a massive problem next year. And Arteta doesn't seem to want to give Chambers a go in centre mid, or Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who we'll get to with West Brom, I guess, shortly. But yeah, gonna be, what do they call it? They call it silly season, the transfer window market. And I think because we've got so many players who could go, and pretty much any competent player in Europe could potentially join us. You know, we're a top 8 side now. Finished 8th last year and 8th this year, so
Congratulations.
thank you. Some sort of consistency is just wonderful.
Mm.
It was old Roy Hodgson's final season with Palace. Old Roy, former England
That was
manager, of course.
lovely. I have to say, watching the send off of that and his speech and the crowd was just so lovely. It was a shame they didn't win, even though at our hands. But I mean, I think it was just really lovely seeing that. It was beautiful. He just comes across as such a genuinely lovely guy.
He really does. Yeah, a
I think there's
real
a lot of
gentleman.
I think there's a lot of revisionist history with Roy Hodgson.
Really?
So with the Euros, right? Because his reputation became just completely destroyed because of the Euros. The guy, so Roy Hodgson, when people see him, they see him as this sort of old-fashioned British gaffer coaching teams like Crystal Palace and such. Roy Hodgson got his start over in the Scandinavia. He coached Inter Milan. The guy is
Oh yeah.
incredibly well traveled in comparison to basically every single British manager in the past century. Well, not past century, like past 2 decades or so. And he's
Yeah, I mean, I would
yeah,
agree. He's more cultured,
mhm.
definitely. He's not.
And
I
he's
mean, when your traditional British
mhm.
manager now is sort of like full tracksuits and chewing gum and effing and blinding on the side, whereas he's got a lot more dignity than.
Right, and the guy actually could play many different styles. The problem is he got inflicted with squads in which during the time in which he was the English manager, it's a team that's very much in transition. And he wasn't the right person for that job.
Yeah, probably got unlucky with Liverpool too.
Right, and yeah, that's another study in transition, right? I feel like a lot of sort of who he was before sort of he took over form in 2000, was it 2010 or something, like 2009 2010, something like that. A lot of
When
who
they
he
went to the
was,
UEFA final.
yeah, a lot of who he was kind of got forgotten in this past decade due to his Liverpool stint and then England and then Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I mean, just sheer longevity of the man. He's what, 70, early 70s, and he's still going. So fair play to him.
Oh, he's gone.
Um,
Yeah, if you want to look at a team that's going to get relegated next season, look at Crystal Palace.
Aw.
you think so?
Yeah, especially if Zaha finally gets his wish and get the hell out of there. That's a team that's primed for
Um,
relegation.
yeah, I mean, if they want to swap him for Willian, I'll take that.
But you would take almost everyone instead of Willian, wouldn't you? I mean, it'd be interesting to
I
see
would,
who wants him.
I would take my Nan on the right wing rather than Willian.
Apparently, he
He's
wants to go back.
probably more mobile.
Apparently, he wants to go back to Chelsea.
Really?
Great, yeah, fair play. Go back to Chelsea, yeah,
Do you think Chelsea
love
will want him though? I mean,
not?
of course not.
Wing
exactly.
wing is Chelsea's deepest position.
I just sort of feel like he's just going to become. He's just going to sit there on. He's got another 2 years, hasn't he? He's just going to sit there, never being played, just clipping coupons. Ugh.
I think it's worse. I think he will be played, and he's going to continue to contribute to your mediocrity for the next 2 years.
God,
Oh,
I'm just
God.
hoping maybe he can do some dodgy deal in Dubai. Hasn't he got a restaurant out there or something? He can just go out there, earn his money, and he's friends with that bloke who sprinkles salt on things or whatever, isn't he?
What?
You know, the one he's got that hand
Turkish guy.
position. Yeah, maybe.
Who
I don't know.
knows? Anyways, yeah.
Anyway. So quickly wrapping up the rest, we got Southampton, Brighton, Burnley. Bit disappointed with Brighton. They only finished with 9 wins. They're a bit
Mm.
more exciting than that. 14 draws, the most in the league. So they got some good players. We were looking at a couple of their midfielders. Probably about where we are.
Mm.
And then Burn.
Everyone keeps
Sorry.
sending me that. I keep getting interrupted because people keep DMing me that tweet of Matthew McConaughey wishing Chelsea good luck for tonight, almost in character from Wolf of Wall Street. It's just insane.
Yeah, the part owner of Austin FC, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, the Chelsea of
Yeah.
the West, I like to think. Anyway, sorry, as you were.
No, that's pretty much it. Not much to say at the bottom of the table. I think everyone kind of expected the three that went down. Well, I guess Sheffield United, maybe not, but
Sheffield
I mean,
United. I think people just forgot who they were after a miraculous season.
it
La-
really was a miracle last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At the top of the
But
table, is it now a thing, Leicester sort of bottling it at the end of the season?
absolutely, now
Is
it
that
is.
is that now becoming Spursy? Is that its own thing now?
They're Spurs.
It,
They don't. They. I don't think they're still the people don't look at Leicester as if they belong there yet, which they probably should starting from now.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I think like starting from next season, we need to just simply erase our thought of this so-called Big Six notion. Despite the fact that the Super League teams still seem to see them as top Big Six. I'm sorry, Tottenham and Arsenal are not top 6 teams in the Premier League anymore.
Oh no, and probably haven't been for a few years, right? I mean, if not a decade. I think that's fair enough.
Maybe a decade's big. I
Well, for
mean,
Spurs, okay, not necessarily Arsenal.
And that's I actually think Spurs I think are closer to the top than Arsenal.
Well,
Arsenal,
Spurs has finished above Arsenal for what, 3 of the last years?
yeah,
Not
last
4.
5 years.
yeah.
Yeah,
And according to the latest news, apparently Pochettino wants to come back to Spurs.
really?
I thought he wanted the
We'd
PSG job.
gladly. I think
Yes.
we'd gladly take him back at Spurs, wouldn't we? I mean, he was one of the best of the recent crop.
Yes, apparently
Yeah.
he's not settled in PSG. Doesn't like Leonardo over in PSG, something like that. It's wild. This offseason is wild in terms of managers. Zidane had
Oh my God, you're right. Silly season has fully started.
Yeah, Zidane had just resigned. Juventus had went back to Allegri after sacking Pirlo. Do you guys want Andrea Pirlo as your coach, by the way? No? Okay.
I'm good.
Bayern Munich's looking for a new has a new coach. Yeah, wild stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot There's a lot happening.
Yeah, Barcelona might be sacking Koeman soon.
No surprises there. If in doubt, sack the manager. It's the Barcelona way.
But yeah,
Well, they got no money to pay the manager anyway. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you look,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Oh yeah, so I was just
I was just wrapping up. You go, Bing.
I was just going to say, like, do a quick wrap up of the rest of Europe, which there isn't that much.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich won as usual.
Yeah, I got a few things here. Yeah, Bayern Munich 9th in a row.
Yep.
Lewandowski breaking the scoring record, 41 goals in a season. Insane. His 9th Bundesliga. He's won 2 with Dortmund, 7 with Bayern, which is quite something. Italy, not too much to say. Inter won. AC came second. Atalanta staying up there.
Yeah, breaking Juventus' own streak of what, 8 or 9 season? I don't know. 9 season.
Yeah, they came 4th, and Roma dropped out to 7th. So I've just got a feeling Jose's gonna just be so at home there. He'll do well in Italy. I've got a feeling. I mean, and then the 2 big ones. So in Spain, obviously, Atletico took the title ahead of Real Madrid, which I've got a lot of time for. And obviously, other news from Spain is that Villarreal won the Europa League in a seemingly never-ending penalty shootout.
Oh, this was hilarious, right? Because we were watching this in bed because we were so knackered that day for whatever reason. And it went to full time. We were like, have we got the energy to stay up for extra time and then potentially penalties? We were like, no, let's go to bed. Wake up the next morning and it's one of the most legendary penalty shootouts of all time. Anyway.
I missed the whole game and just watched the penalty shootout.
Which is probably do it, right? I mean...
Yeah, I have a lot of Man United friends who were giving me updates, and it just sounded really boring.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Unai Emery,
but you know what? I mean, back to him. I mean, he's become like this Europa legend, hasn't he? I mean, his track record's phenomenal.
Fifth time winning the Europa League, I think.
I mean, is he the most successful all-time Europa manager?
Must be, yeah, must be.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it must be. And when they go crashing out of the group stages next season, I expect to see them in the final. Not that we'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, fair play to him, and good evenings all around for Villarreal.
It was so lovely during that match that "Good Evening" was like trending on Twitter in the UK. It's like, what a legend.
I didn't watch as you say, it was so late, because the penalty shootout, listener, if you didn't watch it, definitely have a ganders. But they went through every single player in the team right to the goalkeeper. So, and all 10 outfield players scored their penalties, only for Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea to step up and place it into the palms of his counterpart.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. And even funnier is I read an article the day after that apparently the goalkeeper coach at Man United had given him a cheat sheet that was in his like towel or whatever, and he ignored 3 of those 3 of the directions that players shoot in, and went and did his own thing, and well, we know what happened. But if he'd have just listened. So I think that's the end of David De Gea at Manchester United now.
He did rather to pitifully tweet out the next day, "Stop tweeting shit at me. You can't make me feel worse than I already did." I was like, yeah, but we'll have a go, won't we?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be attacking him for that, for losing the crazy penalty. That's just
There's
whatever.
plenty of other high crimes and misdemeanors, right?
Right. That's
Oh yeah.
Well, then that when it's not even that. It's that Dean Henderson is right there to take over now, and Dean Henderson costs a lot less than David De Gea. That's the reason why you get rid
It's
of De
done us
Gea.
a favour, yeah.
I mean, he's about 30% of the reason why Sheffield United look so good last season. But yeah, boohoo United. Well done, Villarreal. And the final of our little European roundup was France. I had no idea, but Lille won League.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do
So
like
much.
saying that. League.
So much for Farmers League. They got some excitement.
Yeah. I mean, well done. Fair play to them. First league win for them since 2011. They did it without Nicola Pepe somehow. Prevented a fourth in a row for PSG. I mean, I think in this day and age of super leagues and super clubs and how much money is sloshing around the game, it's nice to see stories like, Leicester winning the Cup, Villarreal winning the Europa League, and Lille smacking a cash
The nation of
billionaire
Qatar.
own. Yeah,
Nation
there
of
we go.
Qatar.
Yeah.
We can just put it that way. I mean, with Leo, so their team is first of all heavily in debt, which is why they have already sold their goalkeeper to AC Milan immediately the day after they won the league. So it's not something that's going to last, but
No.
it does sort of show that ultimately sort of this idea of the Super League is stupid, right? Because you can have seasons from a team like Leo that just simply which all the stars align and they somehow outcompete a team with resources almost 4 or 5 times their size.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hats off to them. They absolutely deserve it. And yeah, as you said, teams like Tottenham and Arsenal and just don't deserve to be there year in, year out.
Well, I suppose the argument would be that with the Super League money, they'd buy players and then sort of deserve it after a few years. It'd be like a self-fulfilling thing.
Sure.
Could be sort of like seeded, like you have in the Champions League. They don't usually draw the big teams against each other in the knockouts until the quarterfinals. But anyway, so I'm sure we'll come on later in the summer when we get bored onto our predictions for the next year. But for now, it's Euro 2020/21 time.
Who was hosting it originally? Because we're doing a lot of the final stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, there was no host.
Yes.
There was no host. It was always going to be this ridiculous
Weird-ass
tour of Europe thingy-majigger.
That's so ridiculous. I mean, I miss the days when just a single country hosted shit.
It's the days in which there's only 16 teams.
You've got to say, like, it's like in memory, like when you have these iconic tournaments, you refer to it by its name, don't you? Like Italia '90, like such a legendary World Cup. Like I just feel you need a single host nation. It just makes the nostalgia easier.
Well, it's definitely unfortunate that they decided to do this in the year 2020, in the year of COVID.
Well, in fairness, they didn't know it was the year of COVID.
I know, but it's hilarious it lined up this way.
Well, they could have changed it. I mean, we didn't talk about the Champions League final, which is happening later, but it's an absolute joke that how UEFA have handled that, and how they didn't. There's 2 English teams in the final. We've got one of the best. It should have just been Wembley, exactly.
And it's apparently it's because UEFA wanted to bring over 2,000 UEFA VIPs, and the UK authorities would not give them special exemption out of quarantine because it would have looked horrible. And so they're like, no, fuck it, we'll do it in Portugal then. And it's so ridiculous. And the poor fans step out there and not knowing what they're up to. But it's just UEFA all over, and it's just nice we can go back to now. Super League's over for now. Go back to hating the corruption of UEFA and the venality of UEFA. I feel that UEFA and FIFA, like football's governing bodies, have become to us probably what the Catholic Church was in like the 14th and 15th century, just a symbol of like bloated, money-grubbing corruption. It's like this modern world secular equivalent that we can rail against. It unites us all, whoever you support, you can hate UEFA. So
Absolutely. One of the things I hated most about the Super League is it made those absolute greedy wankers look good.
Bellends. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And that's how you knew
but
how bad the Super League was, because UEFA were taking a moral high ground. It was absurd.
yeah,
So anyway, the
yeah,
semi-finals and the final are at Wembley, aren't they? And then the group stages, who knows
yes.
where they are.
Well, this is the thing. The group stages, it's 12 cities, 12 countries, dotted
Cut,
all around Europe. It's an
cut
absolute.
down, right?
I've
A
got them
few,
here.
yeah, a few cities got removed, I believe.
Yeah, but not my favorite city in Europe, Baku.
Yeah, Baku,
Uh,
Azerbaijan.
not
It's
that
not
I've got anything
Eurovision.
against. Yeah.
It's just not in Europe. I've got nothing
It,
against
it's
it.
it is tech. Azerbaijan technically is in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, you look on a map, the line in which Europe the line between Europe and Asia is drawn is sort of cuts
Oh well,
across the
then
country. So,
my huge apologies to Azerbaijan and Baku. Then my
um,
compatriot.
No, I'm not.
the
I'm not
problem with
apologizing.
the problem with hosting having Baku be a host city is that Azerbaijan is ruled by a dictatorship. And has just
Yeah, but that's
recently
not
waged
washing. I
war
mean,
against their neighbor.
yeah, but then are we just not going to go to Qatar? Yes, we're not going to go to Qatar. I think the British government should boycott Qatar. I really do.
That's another huge
It's
issue.
never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Never gonna happen. Too much money. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no principles in football anymore.
Mm.
They take a
Yeah,
knee before every game, but it's now just kind of a ticking box exercise.
It just pisses me off, as a person of color. Well, I'm not a black person, but don't want to speak on behalf of anyone other than myself. But it's just like annoys me. It annoys me because
Well,
it's like
a
the
lot of.
players, they're all going to be forced. I mean, like I love that players have got consciences now, and I love what Marcus Rashford's doing, and it's all
Mm,
great. I love people speaking up against racism. I just think that the level of activism we've got in British football right now, or English football, is phenomenal. And yet these players, they're all going to have to go to Qatar because otherwise FIFA will probably ban them from all international matches. But all you would need, right? All you would need is for one phenomenal player to say, I don't care, morality is more important, I'm not going to go. Like if all the English players said, we'll sacrifice our international careers, we're not going to go, they wouldn't be able to have the World Cup. You just need enough of them to club together to bring this down. A bit like Super League, you just need enough people to say no.
well, I think get the Euros out of the way. We might see something like that. I could potentially see Rashford being that kind of figurehead.
Rashford plus Gary Neville, and then the British government quietly lobbying behind the scenes to say if you need an emergency backup location, we'll host it.
Yeah.
Or we'll host it.
Well,
They could do something really kind of like politically correct. Say like we'll do it. Britain and Ireland has got a lot of something, or like something really, I don't know. But you just can't have it in Qatar. It's just game over. Should have had it in Russia, but you can't have it in Qatar. Anyway,
yeah. I
rant
mean,
over.
yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of players who feel the same way about you. I know Zaha. We mentioned him earlier. He's very outspoken against taking a knee now because of how it's just a ticking box exercise is how it's seen in a lot of people's eyes. Obviously we all support the Black Lives Matter movement, but when it just, I guess it's now been when UEFA and FIFA and all of these bastards have kind of turned it into something that they can use to take
Yeah, it's
something
just
away.
become corporatized, hasn't it? And
Yeah.
by institutions that have no moral fiber to them. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? I just think players now are being so vocal. I love it, and I just hope it continues and that they use their commercial power. We shall see in due course, I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll see some sort of Twitter will be next to a lot of people are boycotting it. I think Henri boycotted Twitter earlier this season. I guess a lot of social media platforms now need to take responsibility for the people that use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you put up something that infringes copyright on something, they take it down within seconds. Whereas
Yeah, but
racial
Marcus
slurs
Rashford
and
can get
everything.
racist abuse,
Yeah.
10,000 messages a day, and just nothing happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Back to the Euros.
back to the Euros. So, kicks off 11th of June, 2 weeks, I believe.
Yep.
Lasts for a month, which sounded like quite a long time to me. But I guess when you have to fly around the continent for each goddamn game, it's going to take a little bit longer.
The continent's bigger than we previously thought. And also, like the final 2 weeks, like the semi-final and final week, are quite spread out, aren't they? Like it gets quite thin. The first 2 weeks are like ridiculous quantities of games every day, and then it sort of thins out a little bit. So
That's always
you
the
know,
case.
yeah, to give people a bit of time to rest for the actually important games.
yeah.
But it's really weirdly organised. Like, they haven't gone for a big thriller as the opening match. It's a really weak opening match, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, it
so
kicked off
Turkey versus
with
Italy. You know,
well,
like
typically that's the host game, right? That's the host nation's first game. But we don't have a
yeah.
host nation, so they just whoever's
yeah, it's
in Group
usually what is
A
it? Usually
goes.
host versus previous winner, isn't it? That's
Well, no,
what.
it's host versus whoever's in their group.
Yeah,
Yeah, host will usually be Group A, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so this time we have no host, so yeah, Italy versus Turkey. Have fun.
June's going to be insane though. There's a week in June where there's the Euros, there's the cricket on, and there's Wimbledon. And I suspect I will just have to take a week off work because, you know.
There's also the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs here in the United States of America.
Yeah, crazy.
And then we'll have the
crazy.
Olympics as well, right?
Well, we'll see if we have the Olympics.
They can't let the Olympics go ahead, even without supporters. That is just a super spreader event. Just
And
the teams
it's
and their
right
fans.
now had just extended their state of emergency
Yeah, exactly. There's
by another
no
week.
way. There's no way. I mean, that Indian variant in Asia right now, I mean, Taiwan's in a really bad position. That, to me, is so irresponsible. That's like the British holding the Cheltenham Racing last March. It's just so dumb. And I feel for all those
Well,
Olympic sports people who will lose their chance. I really do. Like my little cousins in the British Olympic swimming team. So I feel for them. It's horrible. But yeah, there's no excuse to having that level of people in one place.
Well, I mean, if there was as much money sloshing around the Olympics as there is in football, then maybe they'd be able to host it in 12 countries and have every team fly to each one.
Oh, Christ.
Anyway, so we've got 24 teams. Feels like so many.
It's too stupid. It's stupid. This expanded Euro is so stupid.
Yeah, when I was doing the preview for this, and I was like, just doing a little one-liner on each team, and I was looking at the qualifying groups, and the first like 3 or 4 teams, I was like, finish top in a piss easy group, and I just copied and pasted that like 5 times, and then I looked at all the qualifiers, and I'm like, hang on a second,
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
We've got teams in this from countries I didn't know existed. Again, this is going to come across so racist. North Macedonia. Who are you? Are you even a country? That's insane.
They used to be called Macedonia.
But even then, why are you in the tournament? Like, in America, Austria, and all my Austrian friends will be going Cordoba, but no, Cordoba.
Austria's actually in this for legitimate reasons.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've got some decent Austrian players.
So the problem with why a team like North Macedonia is in this is because So are you guys familiar with the Nations League?
No.
I mean, yes,
I'm a conference of international leagues, isn't it? I mean,
it's this additional international tournament they added before the Euros, and then introduced by FIFA, in which basically to replace a lot of friendly fixtures. But in order to make this stupid tournament matter, they gave some sort of qualifying places to teams that do well in this stupid nation league. And North Macedonia happens to be one of those teams that managed to qualify through their nation league group, which I think features such highlights, great teams such as Luxembourg and Armenia, etc.
And Israel.
I think Israel is actually a group above North Macedonia. Israel was with Scotland, who are also in this tournament, by the way.
No offense to the home nations, but there's no way Scotland or Wales, for that matter, really need to be in this tournament.
Wales are also there for legitimate reasons.
I think you'll find that they have earned their place just as much as North Macedonia.
Wales is there. Wales is there for legitimately for qualifying.
Name a Welsh player other than Gareth Bale.
Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah, that would be my one.
Name another Welsh player.
Joe Allen.
Okay, fine.
Wayne Hennessy.
I'm the wrong person to ask for this because I can actually name their squad. But the problem is, that said, Wales is still a team that's going hard enough. They're not that bad. Teams like North Macedonia and Hungary really shouldn't be here, but they're here thanks to this bizarre qualifying.
I just feel like the former
structure.
Austro-Hungarian Empire should be allowed 2 teams. They can fight it out for who they are.
Do you know what
But
I mean? Like, where's Prussia?
we don't need more than 2 countries from the former Austro-Hungarian Empire to be in this league.
Particularly Croatia is also part of that.
Yeah, exactly. So Croatia can take one spot.
So it's
And
Czech.
like,
There's a lot of former Austria-Hungary teams if you look at it. Czech Republic's in here, Slovakia's in here. I mean, they own parts of Poland, so Poland is in here. Anyways,
I mean, like, honestly, that would make for quite an interesting tournament. The former Austro-Hungarian tournament. I would watch that.
I don't know if I watch.
What, like a Copa America, a Copa de Austria?
A Copa de Austro-Hungary, yeah.
Huh.
Come on,
Oh, you can pitch it to UEFA at the next golden ball that they have.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry, I will promise to stop derailing and being insulting to countries. I really apologise to anyone if they find it.
Save it for the matches.
We're probably now going to get beaten by one of these countries that I've mentioned.
Oh, no doubt, and we'll get to that. So I was going to just run through the groups, and then at the end we can have a little predictions for the winner, dark horse, and flop of the tournament. So just before we go into the groups, I'll give you the bookies' favourites, who are... Can you guess?
France.
It's going to be, presumably you looked at an English bookie, so it's probably going to be England, right? Because it's English.
Oh yeah, it's France, England, and the third team. Is it Germany? It should be Germany.
It's Belgium. I mean, second favourites are Germany, Spain.
England's not in there.
Yeah, France, England, Belgium. Yeah.
Oh, France, England, Belgium. Okay, yeah, okay. That
and
makes
then
sense.
The second lot, 7-1, is Germany, Spain. I looked at a series of bookies actually, Bina. I do my research very thoroughly when it comes to
not just
betting.
English bookies for weight of money.
By the way, Brentford just won.
They won.
Yeah, they just won 2-0. They're out.
Excellent. Although that means their players will be very expensive, so maybe not so excellent. Anyway, so we've got Group A. We've got Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, Wales.
So Italy wins, but who comes second? How many go through? Is it 2 go through from each group?
No.
And then so there's so there's 6 groups.
Yeah.
And then the 4 best third place teams go through.
As well as the top 2 of each group.
Yeah. So if you come
which makes predicting groups incredibly stupid and difficult because we have to take into account to rank these it's stupid.
Oh, absolutely. But that's UEFA's signature.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the conference where it's gonna be, you're gonna have to do some sort of cosine of your point, goals scored, some mad formula to figure out who's going through.
So I actually
the third best team in Kazakhstan now qualifies. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Okay, so yeah, I actually don't think that it's as straightforward as you may think that Italy's just going to walk this group, because I don't think Italy's very good.
Well,
who's going to win?
To counter that, we've got 10 wins out of 10 for Italy in the qualifying stages.
Sure. That said, they had an incredibly easy qualifying group.
I mean, who didn't?
I mean, sure, but like some will point to, there's Netherlands in their qualifying group as part of their wins. I'll point to the fact Netherlands is also not very good. But anyways, Italy did not qualify for the last World Cup. And you look at their roster, there's a lot of incredibly old players that you may know. People like Chiellini and Bonucci and these sort of people. And then you have a bunch of people who have done nothing on the international level, which include their best strikers, who are probably Immobile and Belotti.
Insigne, Immobile, yeah, they're both pretty damn good.
I mean, they're good at club level, but they've not done anything in the international level. Maybe Insigne. Verratti is very good. I think he's their player. But otherwise,
yeah.
I mean, Donnarumma.
Who's the Italian coach? Who's the national coach?
Roberto Mancini.
Ah, Mancini.
Well, who's good? He's good.
Yeah, he's good, but it's a very average squad.
I would personally, they would be my dark horse. They won the World Cup. What was it?
2026. Very, very different team.
2016?
2026. 2006. Sorry, 2026. What I'm talking about. 2006.
Oh shit, was it that long ago?
Yeah, very different players. That's when they still had Pirlo and Del Piero and Totti and all those guys at the top of their game. I don't see it from this group.
So they did.
Yeah.
Christ, that feels like just the other day. Well, I'm going to retract my statement then, and maybe you're right, Bing.
I mean, they surprised. Because like, is Switzerland any good? I mean, presumably Turkey then. Also.
Switzerland are always okay in tournaments. They always make the round of 16 in every single international tournament that they are in.
I think they're in that category with Sweden, that every game they play is boring.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. They feature from some familiar faces to all of us, such as, of course, Granit Xhaka.
Captain Granit.
Captain of Switzerland as well as Arsenal, right?
I think you'll find.
They have the Cube Man, Shaqiri. Yeah, no, it's a very average squad. Turkey is a very bizarre team. If you look at the squad, there's a lot of players that you see coming from the club. Leo.
Yeah, the Yilmaz, their striker, had an absolutely barnstorming season with Lille. Obviously, won the league with them.
Yeah. And their recent record has been very up and down. A lot of draws, but they've recently beat Netherlands 4-2, and then subsequently drew Latvia 3-3. So they're very unpredictable.
Yeah, you're right. They're probably quite hard to break down. Soyuncu in defence from Leicester. Celik or Selik.
Also from Lille.
Yazici, both from Lille. Yeah, you're right. There's a little spine there at club level, which I think you need in these tournaments, which really helps. You have that bit of chemistry, which is always why England have failed. Is everyone hates each other and have to play with each other.
We also put
let's not spend
third level of pressure on our national team. Like, one of my best mates, Alex Muscatelli, is this Italian guy. And I remember years ago when we first met, it's we in Italy, we love football. This is a guy who, I met him the year Bari got kicked out of Serie A, and it was I can never go back to live in Italy while Bari is out of Serie A. And I was like, mate, I can be the rest of your life. And he was like, yeah, we take football seriously, but you guys, the pressure you put on your national team, I think that's part of it. People always underperform. I mean, our players, our team is always less than the sum of its parts.
Oh, of course, and we just, with the quality that's out there, the pressure, you can see it. They're just terrified to make a mistake. I don't know. I mean, personally, for me, I enjoy an international tournament, but I'm not wedded to England at all. Yeah, probably because we haven't had many Arsenal players in there for about 25 years. Not really much to get behind when looking at Spurs and Tottenham. But anyway, so final team in the group, the mighty Wales.
Yep.
Basically, the question is, will Bale and Ramsey turn up?
They usually do for Wales. Problem is they're now 4 years older compared to 2016, and neither of them have been in great form this season.
I mean, Bale's still got it. He's shown a few flashes at Tottenham when he hasn't been coming off the bench in the 85th minute.
Towards the end of the season, sure. But also, sort of, if you look at their spine now, they rely on a lot of sort of younger players, most of whom haven't really fully blossomed, or they've kind of they've kind of, their shine is the luster of their shine has kind of dissipated. You have guys like David Brooks, who seemed like a really promising player 2 seasons ago, but now he's stuck with Bournemouth. Got guys like Ivan Ampadu, who seems like an up and coming player at Chelsea, but he had a really bad season at Sheffield United. Got relegated with them. I don't know.
A lot of players in here. I'm just looking now. Matt Smith, who plays for Man City, never heard of him. Harry Wilson plays for Liverpool, never heard of him.
Yeah, there are a lot
Ravi Matondo for Schalke.
But you probably haven't heard of any Schalke players, though, in fairness.
I have.
I've heard of Kolasinac.
You've heard of a lot of Schalke players. They had Kolasinac and they had Mustafi last season.
Oh yeah,
so you definitely know some Schalke players.
Big fan of Schalke for taking those two off us. Big fan.
You want to talk about a fun season last season? Look at Schalke's season last season. That was they nearly broke the record for the most games without a win in German Bundesliga in a row. Yeah. But no, this is with this Wales team.
Gutted to see that Robson Kanu is finally retired at the age of 74.
Yeah. No more bizarre Cruyff turn for him.
Well, all right. So what are we saying then? I'm gonna back Italy and Turkey to go through in this group. Sorry, Wales, love you, but
Yeah,
Probably
maybe
not to be.
they'll vie for that third place playoff. Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, I would
Not if
imagine,
Granite
but
has
I
anything
would
to say
imagine
about it.
Switzerland would finish above Wales. I don't know. Maybe it could be tight though. You never know.
Bit of a group of death there, but bored to
Probably.
death. Group of bored to death, I think.
Yeah, group of mediocrity, I think.
Yeah, we'll call it the paint drying group.
Probably still Italy, but not going to be surprised if they
All
actually
right.
don't finish top of the group. Turkey and Switzerland, take it or leave it.
All right, yeah. I'm hoping big things for Turkey. Go on, lads, you can do it. Yilmaz to lead them through. Yeah, they were the only team to beat France in the qualifiers. That's my
They
other
did.
little note
Yeah.
there. Turkey, France won every other game except that. So moving on to Group B, we won't go very detailed for everything because some groups are just absolute dead rubber. Group B, we've got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and Russia. Belgium played 10, won 10 in their extremely hard qualifying group of San Marino, Kazakhstan, Cyprus, Scotland, and Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one of the favourites to take the tournament. Their squad is just oozing with quality.
So if you look at their squad from midfield up, I agree. The defense is significantly worse than compared to the
Castagne's good. Carrasco.
Castagna, yeah. So their fullbacks are good.
Is Chadley classed as a? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at midfield.
Chadley is a fullback for Belgium.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was looking at defenders. Boyata's not bad.
Boyata's pretty good. Boyata's not good. Yeah, Thomas Vermaelen. Yeah, that's the problem, right?
Jesus, Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen.
It's still those guys. It's the same people.
So
And
it looks like
as you
a
can
back
see,
three then.
32, 34, 35. They Roberto Martinez plays back three all the time. In fact, I think they don't. Vermaelen definitely doesn't start. I think they start Dan a year.
I wouldn't start Vermaelen, Jesus.
Yeah, but that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they still have Courtois.
No.
Courtois had probably one of his best seasons in that for Real Madrid. Carrasco had a really good season for Atletico. Castagna did play very well for Leicester, as you said. Of course, they have De Bruyne. Lukaku had a brilliant season. Eden Hazard.
Yeah, they've got Hazard, Witsel,
Eden Hazard had a very, very yikes season, right? Well, yikes, very, very bad 2 seasons at Real Madrid. Turned up from the very beginning when they signed for him, out of shape, 2 years in a row.
Well, yeah, he's had terrible luck with injuries there, though. I don't think we can fully blame that on him.
Well, I don't know. People in Real Madrid are definitely want to see the backside of him now.
Yeah, of course, but like, I mean, Zidane won 2 Champions Leagues in a row for them, or was it 3? Something ridiculous like that, and they were calling for his head because he couldn't win the league.
I feel like they have a pretty good, but I feel like with Hazard they have a point. So much so that I'm wondering if they drop him to the bench and start his brother.
Wow.
Thorgan, who play very well for Dortmund this season.
Do you follow all the European leagues?
Actually, I mean, Real Madrid was in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know, but still, like your knowledge of like European.
I don't watch every game, but I do like read stuff.
Okay.
I mean, but it's not with Eden Hazard. That stuff was what they were. Well, I mean, Eden Hazard, when Real Madrid got knocked out by Chelsea, right? They were all mad at Hazard for like taking selfies with the Chelsea players.
Oh, Bing, I've just seen in reserve for Belgium, Thomas Kaminski of Blackburn Rovers.
I know.
Really?
I know. It shows you that
he's not made the squad, but he's made the reserve list.
Not. For their sake, I hope not. But I mean, Kaminski is like okay for championship. We're mid-table.
So what? He's good enough to start for Arsenal?
I wouldn't say that. But yeah.
So just to wrap up Belgium, Romelu Lukaku going to step up to the plate. He's had an absolute blinder for Inter Milan this year. Back to his best.
Always steps up for Belgium, like recently, right? So
yeah, he's got to be a shoo-in for your fantasy team.
Yeah.
All right. Not really much to say about the others.
Denmark's pretty good.
Meh.
I mean, Denmark's pretty good. They've been consistent.
Denmark got Kasper Schmeichel.
Yep, they got Kasper.
Simon Kjær. I don't know how you say that.
Kier. I mean,
Yeah.
Christensen for Chelsea. You got Ericsson.
True.
So
They still have
True,
that.
you're
Finland
right. You know, Vestergaard. Sorry,
is
Bina.
Finland Russia going to be a little bit spicy?
I don't think Finland is spicy at all.
Isn't
In
there?
fact,
I'm sure Shellfish can correct me, but I think there's a Finnish saying that goes, "There is always an army in your country. It can be yours or the Russians."
oh, do you mean that when they play each other? Probably, maybe.
Like, you know, like if England plays Germany or England plays Argentina, it's a little bit spicy. Is Finland Russia spicy? Or are they both too sensible to let that worry them?
I don't think. I just don't
mean,
think either of those teams are very good.
So who comes second in the group then? Denmark.
I think definitely Denmark.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play.
do you think so? Yeah, it could do. It'd be between them and Russia. Russia are, as we saw in the last tournament when we last did this,
Which they
pretty
host.
solid. Yeah, actually, they did
Which they
host and bribe
hosted.
all the referees.
I don't know if they bribed the referees.
Sorry, threaten their families. My bad.
Sure. I think Denmark's just better.
No, you're right. They do have a better squad, and I think it's a similar problem with Russia as to Italy. A lot of players north of 30 might not have the legs for it anymore. All right, so we're going. I'll make a note of this. So we've gone Turkey and Italy. We'll go Belgium, obviously, and Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes. Did we say Switzerland to go through as well as part of the?
We just leave the surplus team last. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't get excited about that.
Who cares? All right, cool. We'll just do two. Group C, very exciting. Austria, Netherlands, North Macedonia, and Ukraine.
The Netherlands top, right?
I don't know.
Well, who would be second? Ukraine.
I don't
Ukraine
know.
or Austria?
I actually think UK and Austria wins this group, and Netherlands third.
Really? You think
Netherlands
Netherlands is going to
third?
get through group
I think
stage?
if you look at the Netherlands' recent form, it's really bad.
I've got a lot of Dutch colleagues who are going to be flipping suicidal if that happens.
Frank de Boer. I mean, Frank de Boer is the coach. You know, maybe you guys saw the famous what Mourinho say about Frank de Boer, the specialist in losing.
Jesus.
Like on talent, I agree. Netherlands should win this group, but it's just their recent form is dire.
You're right. You know, I'm looking at their squads. I can't see much hope for them. You've got Nathan Ake, Blind.
I mean, so the best players are their sort of and their Ajax spine from like 3 seasons ago when that team made the Champions League semifinal. So they Frankie de Jong, Donny van der Beek, and Matthijs de Ligt.
Stefan de Vrij is a good player for Inter.
Yeah. Depay, sure. But it's not even just about sort of like listing off names, right? It's just that their recent form has been disaster.
I still think that they've got enough sort of experience of tournaments to get them through the group stages. Honestly, like maybe not top. I would have thought top, but maybe definitely second. If they came third, I'd be shocked. That would be an upset, right? People would be very surprised. I feel.
North Macedonia recently beat Germany.
Really? And North Macedonia? Am I giving them shit? And they're actually good.
I don't know if they're good, but
is Austria and North Macedonia going to be spicy?
Austria has some things going for them. They have a very Bundesliga spine, and I mean, they're led by David Alaba, who just recently went to Real Madrid from Bayern Munich. So,
what is Marcelo retiring?
Alaba's going to play central defense for Real.
Oh right, he did move into the middle, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Austria is a very boring team, but they do have a solid spine, which is why I don't know. I think they can do Netherlands in.
Yeah, but even if they go through, they won't go further, right? I mean,
probably not. No, I don't think anybody from this group will go very far. In fact, I believe I fully expect every single one of these teams to be out by the round of 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Famous last words when North Macedonia clinched it.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Austria hasn't done anything in international football since Cordoba '78, and I strongly don't expect that to change this year. This is the most boring group. I mean, are any of us going to watch any of these games?
I'll watch them.
I'm going to make an effort to watch a North Macedonian game. Come on, boys.
Morbidly interested in Netherlands, even though I fully expect their games to be incredibly boring because that's Frank de Boer style.
Yeah.
All right, Bing. Yeah. Seeing as you know everything, mate.
I don't know everything.
Name me a North Macedonian player.
I'm cheating because I'm staring at their squad list right now.
Oh,
I mean,
You are too honest by half.
they have Alioski, the crazy left back for Leeds.
Oh, he is it. I mean, I was looking at Goran Pandev. I remember
Yes,
signing
I
him on
know, I
FIFA
know.
about 7
Yeah,
years ago,
Pandev is
and he was
37 years old and still probably
he
the
was
best.
I was gonna say he was 30 when I signed him on FIFA years ago. Now he's 37.
It's North Macedonia. They don't have that many players.
Yeah.
I mean, no. To be honest, I don't know most of these players on North Macedonia. I know Alioski because the guy's certified insane when he plays for Leeds. And
Alioski's great. Yeah, probably their
both
best
ways,
player.
going both ways, right? Because he has some massive, like, stupid defensive gaps and crazy stuff that he does on the field, and then he sometimes scores insane goals too. So I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at some of the teams these players play for. Are this what Tottenham are gonna have to play in the conference
Yeah.
next season? We've got
Congratulations on going to Dinamo Plovdiv next season. The running
we've got
joke.
Rabot Niki,
Yeah,
Doxa Katok Opia. Apologies for the butchering of the pronunciation.
lost to Dynamo.
Akademija Pandev.
You guys lost to Dynamo Zagreb, all right?
Well, yeah.
Tottenham did.
Yeah, I'm speaking. Sorry, speaking to Bina as if she's still a Tottenham fan.
Well, I refer to both of them as we, which I know is weird for both sides.
We've got Chambly, and another one I like is Kai Serispor. Lovely. Anyway, all right, Netherlands top, or at least to go through, and Ukraine or Austria. What are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go with Austria.
Bina?
Yeah, Austria.
Okay, I'll go with you too. I was thinking Ukraine, but yeah, go on, Austria.
The
Group
Netherlands
D.
second. Netherlands is not coming third.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll put them second. Austria to finish top. Then, how about that?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they finished third. That's all. I'm just
Group
gonna put
D.
that out there. Oh yeah,
The
England.
group we will come to discuss is Croatia, Czech Republic, England, and the mighty Scotland.
This is so spicy in so many ways because there's 3 good teams and one that really hates us. So yeah, this is going to be tight. I think this is going to be really bum squeak time.
I don't know.
And I just feel England could underwhelm and end up third and be fighting for a third place playoff.
I think England wins all 9 points.
Well,
I
hope
think
so,
I think
on
England
paper
come
we
top.
should dominate.
I know.
On paper, but
I know.
I
understand the mentality. I understand that mentality.
It's better for me to put myself in a position where I think we're going to be fighting for third place playoffs because history has taught me that you shouldn't go.
So I'm going to put it this way: on paper, England should win this group, but the problem is, does England want to win this group?
Because then we have a really tough team because we get Germany or
something. Yeah, because you look at the bracket, you would get the winner of Group D gets the runner up in Group F, and we're talking about Group F.
Well, that's
Portugal,
another
France,
really
Portugal, France, Germany.
Yeah, UEFA fucking hate. It's hard not to think it was rigged.
Well, so would it be better to go runner up in which you play the runner up of Group E, which is most likely Poland? Now that's not an easy game because that's Lewandowski.
I don't think England have the balls or should attempt to have the balls to be tactical here.
They probably shouldn't.
I don't think we are the kind of team that is so confident in international tournaments that we can start being cute. I don't think we should be over cute.
You were a little
if we happily win the group, that we should just win it, right? Like I don't think
we're a confidence team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but let's put it out there. You were a little bit cute in the last World Cup in which you lost to Belgium in the last game and then took the easier route.
Yeah, but I don't think that was deliberate cuteness. I think that was accidental and gratefully received cuteness. That wasn't actual cuteness. I mean, like the attitude of the whole country in the last World Cup was like, we're so shit, we're always so shit. And it was just like pleasantly surprised as we kept on going through. And even when we were knocked out, it was kind of like fair play. We did get probably one game further than we should have done. Yeah.
Well, yeah. To your point, Bing, there is a lot of spice in this group. Actually, we've got from
Croatia.
an England perspective, England played the Czech Republic in the qualifiers.
That's true.
Croatia knocked us out of the World Cup, as we'll all remember. And Scotland, we've been invading and fighting wars with Scotland for a couple of 100 years.
And they're currently trying to get their independence. I mean, this couldn't be a spicier time to be playing Scotland.
That's true.
This is the group to watch. I mean,
this is going to be exciting from the word go. Yeah,
absolutely. Every England game in this group is full throttle, and I think you can't discount as well how many games England play at Wembley. I think it's
And with
2
a
of the
crowd,
3
and we'll
group
have
stages.
That's
Yeah.
rigged for you guys.
Yeah, football is
Oh.
coming home, and we will have fans in the stadium, and that will be huge.
So with Croatia, if you look at again, I once again point to recent form, and Croatia's recent form is dire. And it's not just even dire like what I've been saying with Italy and Netherlands. It's absolutely dire, as in they're getting destroyed by teams. They lost four, so in the so-called Nations League, they were wiped out. They lost 4-1 to Portugal. They lost 4-2 to France. And earlier they had been losing to England by similar scores. Recently they lost to Sweden and lost to Slovenia.
Yeah.
This is a team that probably hit their absolute height in the last World Cup and is now aging out of relevance almost completely. They had several key players from the last tournament that have retired in Rakitic and Mandzukic. Both Mandzukic, of course, you remember scoring against England in the semifinal. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore.
Yeah, they still got Perisic though.
32
Modric, Kovacic.
year old Perisic. Modric 35, but he's still player of the year from Real Madrid, so still cannot discount him.
Yeah, Perisic reminds me of like a Croatian Muller. You know, just kind of it's got that nose for goal. But yeah, no, I can hear that. A case can be made for all 4 of these teams to finish top.
I think
it's got to be
England.
England though.
I think it's England top and the Czech Republic. Czech Republic, their players or their top players are younger and they're on the rise. Several of them now play for West Ham.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually, and I think it's Czech Republic could even go top and England second. Yeah,
I don't know if I go that far, but I think
heart and head. But yeah, you've got to. I think for the purposes of writing something down, you've got to go England, Czech Republic, Croatia, Scotland. But I wouldn't be surprised if Croatia then takes the third spot of the teams we've seen so far.
Probably Scotland take one.
So what? You're writing off Scotland completely?
Yes.
100%. Scotland should be in the tournament.
Yes, Scotland should be written off completely.
No offense, Doc. No offense, Glenn, but they should be in this tournament.
I mean, look at that Scotland squad. They have a lot of very good left backs.
They have Kieran Tierney and Kieran Tierney.
And Andrew Robertson. And Robertson's going to start over Tierney, by the way.
Which is insane,
I think you'll find that Robertson will play at right back and Tierney will play on the left.
And you have Robertson have never played right back. I don't think in his entire career.
I mean, I'd play Tierney left wing personally. Get him up there, get him in the goal zone. He's got an eye for goal, as we saw in that Benfica game.
They have no strikers, unless you
the mighty Che Adams of Southampton.
Yeah, Scotland's not going to win a match.
And I think John McGinn is a decent player. Scott
McTominay. It's more their goalkeeping situation. Craig Gordon must be about 70 by now.
He's 38.
Yeah, they're going to be conceding
and recently playing
hat-tricks, aren't they? I mean,
recently playing in the Scottish Championship.
Yeah, he plays for Heart of Midlothian. Jesus.
David Marshall, who is 36 and also routinely relegates from the Premier League. And John McLaughlin, which I'm pretty sure is the Rangers' backup.
Yeah. Ryan Fraser, though, not a bad player.
Didn't he get suspended from Newcastle because he hates Steve Bruce?
I mean, can you blame the man?
No, but
entirely understandable, right?
No, but I mean,
we should move on from this discussion because if in any slim chance they end up beating England,
it'll be hilarious.
It'll just come back to haunt us, right? So.
All right. I'm back in Scotland. I'm putting them down to come third. Okay. I'm backing that. I'm going to put third place.
Well,
Noah says so.
I'll back Scotland to do what they usually do, which is get 0 points and go home before
hosts bias. So what are we saying? Czech Republic to come second?
Yeah.
And Croatia to just absolutely capitulate to the mighty Thistles.
Yeah. I'm basically just assuming home location offsets typical England calamityness.
Yeah. Or, even more pressure.
Even more pressure. I mean, seriously, people are already using the phrase, it's coming home, football's coming home. This is very worrying to me.
Well, we always do. So, all right, we'll leave Group D D in the dust. Group E, we can run through this pretty quick. Poland, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden. Probably not a lot to say here.
Well, who comes
Spain
I
is-
will.
second? Who comes second? That's interesting, isn't it? After Spain.
Probably. Spain is a bit weird in that. So Spain has no Real Madrid players on their team for the first time in, I don't know, God knows when.
Wow, do they?
No, they look at the squad, no Real Madrid, right? And 2 Barcelona.
Well, David De
Sweden.
Gea will join. Oh no, because they've got what's his name?
They got Courtois.
Courtois.
Yeah,
Yeah.
De Gea is not going to Real Madrid. Maybe when I send him
Decent
on.
team though.
Good team.
Laporte,
Good
Garcia.
team. I'm sure all Manchester United fans, and especially Paul Scholes, should be familiar with Gerard Moreno now. No, it's a good team,
yeah.
but I don't know. So I don't think they're the sort of they're not the Spain of like 2000 mid 2000 late.
Adama Traore. He's
Yeah,
Spanish.
Oh yeah, he has always been Spanish.
God, I never knew that.
Yeah, came from Barcelona.
I knew
Very-
that, but
Very
I mean,
anti-Barcelona player.
yeah.
Which shows that this is a very different Spanish team. That Adama Traore is part of this team.
He's very good at running in a straight line.
Yes, and that's not typically how Spain plays.
I mean, his arms are like the size of my chest, so
Yeah.
he can just shield the ball like no one else.
No, it's I don't know if this is a team that will go very, very far in a tournament, but they definitely have enough to win the group. But if you look at their defense, it's a little bit problematic. They had to, as you can see, Aymeric Laporte is now suddenly Spanish.
Yeah.
He just switched nationality last week or something like that.
Just in time.
Yep.
Got the paperwork through.
Mhm.
All right, so Spain all top. Slovakia, much to say there.
Not really. They shouldn't be here.
Sweden, always the most boring team in any tournament, in my opinion.
Zlatan was going to make this squad, but he got injured.
I know. I did have a look. He's not in it at the age of. Is he 40?
39, something like that. He was going to make the squad, but he got injured.
He's 40 this year in October.
Yep.
Bloody
Very
hell.
good season with AC Milan. He should have
Jeez, he
made
did. 15
should have-
and 19. Good
yeah,
for
he
him.
should have made the squad, but he got injured.
Yeah. And
I think it's Poland, right? It's Poland after Spain.
well, I always think so. I remember I got burnt in the World Cup. I put all my eggs in the Lewandowski basket in fantasy, and he didn't score a single goal, or he scored
Yeah.
one penalty or something.
Yeah, I don't think Poland's very good. It's just that they're better than Slovakia and Sweden. Maybe.
So who are we saying? You saying Poland second?
I say Poland, but maybe Sweden. You can say Sweden.
Bina, any gut instinct there? Slovakia, Sweden, Poland.
Slovakia. But I mean, really, no. I think they're all kind of teams that can have their day, but are basically mediocre.
All right, I think I'll go for Sweden just to bore the crap out of
that's
everyone.
fine. That's fine.
We can make it. Group F is the actually interesting one. Yes.
Group
F.
F. Is that the group of death? Is that or is Group
It
B the
would
group of
be.
death?
It has to be.
It would
Has to
be
be.
if not for the fact that the all 3 teams are just going to make it. And
Yeah, there are just
Obviously
no
Hungary is
groups
gonna be
of
last.
deaths, are there? But Portugal,
stupid.
France, Germany. How would you even place those? France first, Germany, Portugal. I don't know.
So on sheer talent, France definitely, because France is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
field 3 teams in the Euro, and all 3 of those teams will do well.
Agreed. I would put them
In
top.
fact, you go and look at their under 21 team, and like you can ask yourself, like, would that team be one of the favorites for the tournament, along with this first team?
God, they do have. It's ridiculous.
Right. Then they're I mean, and somehow they got Karim Benzema back, despite the fact that Benzema is going on trial for allegedly blackmailing his former teammates in a sex tape scandal. It's bizarre. But Benzema is on this team.
Marcus Thuram, not
Marcus
son
Thuram.
of Lillian Thuram, is he?
Yeah, nephew, I think.
Oh,
no, son.
No,
Yeah, son.
son, yeah.
No, Thuram's had a good season, then spit on somebody, which he really shouldn't have done.
especially at a time of pandemic, right?
Yeah, but and kind of miss return, but I mean, like, I mean, you know the names on France, like Mbappe,
Olivier
Mbappe.
Giroud.
okay, sure, Olivier Giroud.
Giroud, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Giroud, he always does well for France. He's not going to start
He's
now.
got phenomenal hair. He uses more hair gel. Olivier Giroud or Unai Emery.
Oh,
What?
Giroud. Definitely Giroud. But the key here, N'Golo Kante, very good end of the season. Got Chelsea, basically willed Chelsea into the
Smashing
Champions League
player,
final.
smashing player.
I mean, France is going to be beautiful to watch. I'm looking forward to watching France until we play them. I think they're going to produce some amazing football.
Yeah, I agree.
Deschamps plays very defensive, so I don't know about amazing. They're going to win. They're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, but they could win the tournament, right? So
And they're definitely the favorite by a long mile, I think.
Not the bookies I checked out.
Yeah.
English.
I think the second best team in this group is Portugal.
I would agree. You
Can
look
you
at
imagine
Portugal
if
on
Netherlands
paper.
and Germany come third in their groups, and then wow, that'll be.
I mean,
Well,
Germany,
we're getting to that.
they're
So
third.
let's have a quick. Jesus, Germany only have 2 forwards in their squad,
They always only
and
has
one
two
of them is
forwards.
Timo Werner, who
Yeah.
really could not hit a barn door with a shotgun.
Yeah, Germany on talent level, like if you just in the alley based on sheer talent, Germany should be a favorite for this tournament. The problem is,
Sane, Havertz, Goretzka, Gnabry, Müller.
they have a lot of really
Cruz.
good young talent. They should be up there.
They really should be.
But the
But
problem is that
again, I mean,
the
2
problem is that
strikers.
well, it's not just that. Jurgi Low. I mean, you guys remember what happened to Germany in the World Cup, right? They just completely this discombobulated team.
Yeah.
They were very disappointing. They were very lackluster and very disappointing in the World Cup.
Yeah.
They just did nothing.
Yeah. Since then, Jurgi Low tried to force Thomas Müller and Mats Hummels into retirement. Discovered that they cannot have a functioning team without those 2 players, and has subsequently recalled both of them for this team.
Thomas Müller is. I hate him. But he's undoubtedly.
Why do you hate him?
He's just got a real.
He destroys
He's
England.
got a real resting bitch face, you know.
He routinely
You know.
destroys England.
And I mean, you know, I'm part of my Arsenal supporting career has been in watching him smashing goal after goal, season after season against Arsenal in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, that'll do
So
it.
he's not exactly endeared himself to me, but he is undoubtedly club and country a goal machine for a midfielder. And I've got a lot of time.
Speaking of Arsenal and goal machines for club and country, Serge Gnabry, you may remember him.
Love a bit of Serge.
Who probably is the actual goal threat for Germany.
Yeah.
Rather than Voland, rather than Timo Werner.
I mean, I'd play him as a false 9. If you're listening to this, Jurgi, I recommend Gnabry as a false 9.
Jurgi doesn't listen to anybody. Jurgi Low, he's going to retire after this tournament.
He should have retired long before the tournament.
He should have retired, long
a bit
before.
Like Angela Merkel, he stayed about 3 years too long.
Probably 5 years too long.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got resting bitch face as well.
He does worse things than that. But yeah, I don't know. Germany.
15 years. Christ.
Yeah, 15 years.
Actually, a Germany-Netherlands third place playoff would be quite spicy.
I don't think they'll run into each other. They'll be gone before. I think they'll be gone before.
All right. So we got anything to say about Hungary?
Not really.
No.
All I know about Hungary is didn't they have a really good player called Laszlo once?
They always have somebody named Laszlo on their team.
Let's have a look.
A guy named Laszlo Kleinheisler. I can't really say much about him. I don't know who he is. Midfielder.
No, is it?
Midfielder Laszlo Kleinheisler.
Oh yeah, sorry, he's got loads of loads of accents. That's why I searched and pick it up. Yeah.
I mean, they have a few players that are good in I never know how to pronounce this guy's name. Szoboszlai, I think. No, not really. This is not a good team. It's definitely
I do like how one of their players is spelt Sylvester with SZ at the beginning and an SZ at the end.
Yeah, no,
that's about it.
Portugal is a real team.
Portugal is a real team, and they are the champions.
They are, yes, they are the reigning champions of Europe.
They are, and I mean, what more to say? It's FC Ronaldo, isn't it? You know.
No, I think for the first time in a while, this isn't FC Ronaldo anymore. In fact, I wonder if it'd be good if they just drop Ronaldo. They're not going to do it, but they probably will play better if they just drop Ronaldo.
Are you joking? No, mate. No, I can't. I can't back that.
No, you start Bernardo Silva and Joao Felix.
I think UEFA would be straight on the phone. I mean, Ronaldo.
No, they won't do it.
In, like viewing figures, right?
They won't do this. but I think they really should drop Ronaldo.
I mean, I could possibly see him putting Jota through the middle because he's
No, they should
class.
play. They should play Joe. They should play Joao Felix, Diogo Jota, and Bernardo Silva, and maybe even Andre Silva.
Bruno Fernandes, Joao
Yep.
Moutinho still doing it, and then Renato Sanchez did well for Lille, didn't he?
Yep. And when you look
Cancelo,
yeah, and Ruben Diaz, probably the best defender in the Premier League this season.
absolutely.
Rafael
Is
Guerrero.
Pepe the Pepe?
Yes, of course. And Jose Fonte, 38, 37. Yeah.
Still playing.
Fonte, you remember him from Southampton, perhaps?
I do. Did he
He just won the league
also
with
play
Leo.
at Southampton?
Yeah.
Sorry, you just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just won the season with he was probably the talisman for Leo at 37. I mean, no, this I think for the first time, like their last team in the Euro was kind of FC Ronaldo, more just FC incredibly boring defensive team. With Ronaldo scoring whatever few goals that they had, or making them. But I think for the first time they have a team that has enough talent that not only do they don't need to rely on Ronaldo, they really shouldn't start Ronaldo. I mean, again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Ronaldo's going to start every single minute because he's Ronaldo. He's not going to. He's Ronaldo. But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, they've got to wean it off. But I mean, this will probably be his last tournament.
I don't know.
Right? Yeah, well, it could be around in for the World Cup, but
the World Cup is just next
who
year.
knows? So, what are we going with Portugal for second then?
Yeah, I think it's France Portugal, and it might be even.
I agree.
All right, I agree too. That sounds good. So then we've come to the end of our groups. What are you guys? Who are you guys going to go for the winner? I'll put your predictions down.
France.
So, you're both saying France.
Just be boring.
Being France.
It's the boring.
Says.
It's the boring and safe answer.
Okay, then fuck it. I'll say Portugal.
I'm gonna go for England.
You know what? That's not a bad call.
All right, Bina goes Portugal. Boring old Bing goes France, and Noah goes for England.
Oh, I just don't want to jinx it.
I mean, there's no chance they're gonna win.
I don't know.
Just to nail the coffin shut, I'm gonna go and put a $5 on it.
I like the England team.
It's coming.
I like Saka.
I promise you, if we win, Noah, even if I will personally hold a Cockney moot. I will sponsor a Cockney moot, and it will go large.
Amazing! Yeah, we could all watch the final. That would be brilliant. Bing, you have to fly over.
Probably not, but
who do you support?
One game
do you adopt a team, or do you just watch as a neutral?
For the Euros, I mean, the team I really support is Iceland, but Iceland's not in this tournament. But yeah, I'm kind of just neutral.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
All right, so no preferences. You're not swayed by the three lions.
I don't want them to do well. I like their players. I do worry about their defense.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like he's going to make some mistakes there. I feel like we should probably put Kyle Walker at centre back. I don't see that happening though.
I don't know if that's a great idea either. I'm also worried about your goal. I mean, you're going to start Pickford now that Pope is injured. I worry about Pickford.
Yeah. We've always since Seaman, we've not really had a good keeper.
Pickford was good in the last.
I mean, like, it can't be as bad as Calamity James. I mean, we're used to having to deal with that.
Yeah. So who are your picks for dark horse?
Is Portugal a dark horse? I don't think they're a dark horse anymore, I guess.
Nah, not when they're champions.
Um,
Just to remind you, a couple of dark horses. Czech Republic, Austria.
What about Belgium?
Belgium? Nah, they're favourites with England. Yeah. Denmark, Turkey.
Pick Belgium to win.
Oh, no, I don't
pick Belgium to win.
I don't think they're going to win over France, but I don't think they're going to win over France. You guys could have picked Belgium. Belgium has the players to win, and they've.
I'm going England.
If you want to look at a dark horse, maybe Denmark.
All right, I'm going to go with Turkey as my dark horse, and my favourite category, flop of the tournament.
Germany.
Oof. Germany ×2. Germans get a lot of stick. We'll give them a chance. I'm gonna go with Netherlands. You've convinced me, Bing.
If you really want to predict something like we could predict something.
England.
I mean, yes, that, but also.
That's almost expected. I think that's priced in.
All right, well there we have it. I think we'll see out the main part of this. Thank you for joining me today, guys. This has been a lot of fun. I'm hyped for the Euros now. I needed a little break. It's been a very painful, extremely long season, and I needed a little bit of just time to catch my breath, smell the roses, remind myself that there is something to look forward to. And that is the Euros. And you've reignited my passion, my fire. So let's go. Come on, the boys. 3 lines on my chest. We're going to do it all the way. Scotland's finished second. Come on as well. England-Scotland final. Yeah, we'll go for that.
Scotland dark horse?
I mean, I would love to put them down as a dark horse, but I just don't think you guys would let me get away with that.
I mean, Wales probably has a better shot. But
Nah, Bale's already on the beach. He's already on the sandy beaches
if
of
he's on
Aberystwyth.
break for doing anything, he's golfing. Come on, let's be honest. It's golf,
Yeah.
Wales, and then Real Madrid in that order.
Yeah, definitely. And convincing Daniel Levy to re-sign him.
And that's whatever.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to close this one out. Thank you for joining. This has been a lot of fun. I'm ready for this tournament, and let's book another one in soon. And let's, come on, roll on the Euros. 2 weeks and counting.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll add in the bit at the end. If you want to join the Vassals of Kingsgrave, if you want to get involved in the Soccercast, we would love to have you on board. We'd love to have someone put down our wild opinions and join the discussion. Get involved, join the Discord, swipe right or left, whichever way is the good one. And we'd love to have you in the conversation. Please get involved, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, now it's the fun time.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm gonna have to go in a minute because I need to wolf down some dinner before I go and sing my little lungs out. So I have a few more chants. That was a lot of fun, by the way, guys. Thanks for getting involved with this. It's been good.
That's great. Thank you.
Regularly chatting about football has been lovely, actually. So I know Bean has been waiting for this, so I'll do Bean's chant first. It is to the
Ready.
tune. All right, I just need to remind myself how it goes. All right. Who's the jewel in our crown? Turns your frown upside down. That Bina. She's surrounded by clowns, more proper than a noun. That Bina. Not bad.
Oh, is that it? Okay. No, that's
I mean,
lovely.
you can add more to it. You can elaborate on it.
Oh no, that was brilliant. I'm very happy. It's an improvement. I feel it will get better every edition of Soccercast.
It's twice as long as the Bobby Zamora chant. All right.
Yeah, this is true.
Twice as long as the Bobby Zamora chant, which and it's not as good. It's not nearly as derogatory as his one as well.
Yeah.
Good.
And for you this week, Bing, we've got super Bing, super Bing, super Bing, super Bing's a legend.
All right. I'm on my way to joining the Super League as we speak.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
And then, because I do someone about someone else on the forums, and this one kind of worked as well, with shout outs to Cantona, we've got Nymeria, Nymeria.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
So maybe that can be the bumper this week.
Absolutely. Love it.
Oh,
All right, boys, I'm going to
well,
have to go. We're off to a dinner party because we are of that age.
Yep. I'll watch the Champions League final later on. Watching Christian
Yeah, me
Pulisic
too. I need to.
win.
What are we going to do? Are we going to regroup after the group stages? Does that make sense?
We can do that.
Yeah, we can. I mean, what group stages will last for about a week and a half.
Let
Something
me just
like
look at my
that.
calendar because I've got all the dates in the diary.
Until 23rd.
Yeah, so basically then 24th is a rest day, which is a Thursday. The Friday the 25th is a rest day. And the Saturday the 26th of June, you start getting the first of the playoffs. So maybe we should try and record on that Thursday, Friday, and
Okay.
I'll try and edit it and get it out in a timely manner.
We could do a rest day. I wouldn't even mind like after a first few games, we could have a little look. Whatever, diaries, however it works. Because the football is just relentless at that point. It's not really going to matter if it's a Tuesday or a Saturday.
Yeah, as long as the timings work. I'll figure out when's halfway through and propose something on the Discords.
Excellent. Yeah, be good to get a few others in. See if we can squeeze in a few more top participants. But as ever, it has been wonderful with you guys. So yeah, until the next time, I'm gonna love you and leave you as well.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.